What's up everybody, it's Seth Fowler and today I'm talking about which Ultra Boost is better, the Ultra Boost Laceless or the Ultra Boost Uncaged. So ever since I started seeing leaked images of the Ultra Boost Laceless, one question always came to my mind, and that's whether this sneaker is better than the Ultra Boost Uncaged. Because let's be honest, they're both really similar shoes, and half the time I don't even wear the Ultra Boost Uncaged laced up. In fact, on my particular pair, I switched out the regular laces for these 3M rope laces that don't even do anything, so it's basically like I'm wearing a slip-on anyway. And after having the Ultra Boost Laceless for just about a week, I feel comfortable talking about which sneaker I like best. Let's start out with the shoe we all already know very well, the Ultra Boost Uncaged. This is a shoe that Adidas dropped because a lot of people were uncaging the original Ultra Boost when they first got them because they thought they looked better. And Adidas made the smart move of actually listening to their customers and released the Ultra Boost Uncaged. Now, to be honest, when the shoe first released, people were a little underwhelmed because there was something about the look of the original Ultra Boost that didn't have a cage on it that was just still so much more appealing than this particular shoe. People didn't really love the collar, and the overall shape of the shoe is pretty different than the original Ultra Boost. So although it did take off and although it has sold a lot of sneakers, it still can't really take the place of the original Ultra Boost. I personally only have one pair at the moment. I've had more in the past, but I just wear the caged version so much more that I just didn't feel like I needed more than one pair of the Uncaged. The prime knit from the midfoot to the back of the shoe is a lot stiffer than the regular Ultra Boost, and that's because it needs to have some sort of structure to it, because of course it doesn't have a cage as the name would suggest. Another touch a lot of people weren't a huge fan of were these Fuse Overlay 3 stripes on the toe. A lot of people, including myself, thought that made the shoe look a little too sporty and less lifestyle than we'd like. Not only that, but Adidas ended up releasing a lot of the same colorways for both the Uncaged model and the regular model, so when faced with the choice, most people went with the caged model. As for comfort, the shoe definitely feels good. The Ultra Boost midsole is of course very comfortable, and that's one thing that hasn't really changed across any of the Ultra Boosts that have released. The upper is fine, the prime knit feels good, it's very comfortable and very stretchy, and they did add some ventilation holes on the toe box. My one gripe with the shoe, other than the overall aesthetics, was this ankle collar area. For whatever reason, the back part of this ankle collar just always dug into my foot, and I think it's because there's a seam that runs right up the middle and makes it a lot stiffer, so I'd always get these blisters in the back of my foot if I didn't wear long socks, and that kind of sucked. Also, the collar didn't fit to my foot as nicely as I would have liked. It still feels a little bit loose whenever I'm wearing it on my foot. As for the laces, as I mentioned, I don't really tie mine or tighten mine because I don't feel the need to. However, if you do feel like you need a tighter fit, you can tighten the laces, which will help the shoe wrap around your midfoot pretty nicely. However, it does bunch a little bit in the middle, but it's really not that big of a deal. Now, just about a year later, Adidas has released the next iteration of the Ultra Boost, the Ultra Boost Laceless. The upper is still made up of prime knit, however the texture varies depending on which part of the shoe you're touching. The outside of the toe box is a little bit rougher than the prime knit on the Ultra Boost Uncaged. In fact, it almost feels like a mesh. It doesn't feel like a mesh on foot, but to the touch, it definitely has sort of a rough quality. One thing I like better on the Laceless than the Ultra Boost Uncaged is that they removed those 3 Fuse Overlay stripes. I think it looks so much cleaner, and instead of doing that, they added a different knit pattern to the big toe area, which I believe is for durability. When comparing the comfort of the toe box on foot, they both feel pretty good. I will say that the Uncaged is a little bit looser and a little bit closer to the prime knit you find on the Ultra Boost 3.0. Although the laceless toe box is a little bit tighter, it still feels really good against your toes. Moving back on the shoe is where you find the main difference between the two sneakers, and that of course is this forged prime knit midfoot section. I mentioned this in my review and I'll mention it again. When I first saw this in leaked images, I thought it looked like trash and I hated it. And even to be honest with you, when I got these shoes in hand, I still wasn't a fan of it. But then, when I put these guys on feet, everything changed. When you see this shoe on foot, it looks completely different. The crazy ribbing texture doesn't look out of place. The shoe itself looks super clean, and I just really dig the way it looks on foot. More so than the Ultra Boost Uncaged, which surprised me. I didn't expect that to happen. As for fit, since obviously you can't adjust the fit of the shoe with laces, it definitely fits tighter than just about every other Ultra Boost. This forged prime knit section isn't actually stretchy at all, it's more stiff, and that's mainly because it's there to keep your foot in place. For me, both shoes fit true to size. However, like I mentioned, this shoe does fit a little bit tighter, so if you're planning to grab one of these for yourself, make sure to try it on first, because since it doesn't have laces, you can't adjust it if you don't like the fit. Another change which I initially didn't like, but now I actually don't mind at all, is this collar area. The collar is constructed a little bit differently. It's got this extended pull tab tongue area, and then you've got this more elastic collar area around the heel. This collar fits to my foot so much better. Initially, I didn't wear socks with these guys, and yes, they did dig into my ankle a little bit, but it really wasn't as bad as the Ultra Boost Uncaged. Not only that, but because this is a little bit more elastic, it actually hugs to my ankle a lot better, and it feels a lot more comfortable. I still think the extended tongue looks a little goofy, but on foot, it's not as bad. The back half of the shoe is very similar on both models. You've still got your plastic heel counter, which provides some nice lockdown. Although the knit does feel a little bit different on the outside, you've got a neoprene lining and a lot of padding on both sneakers, so it feels exactly the same. Again, the Ultra Boost midsole and outsole is exactly the same on both sneakers, so from the midfoot down, it's not going to feel any different. So if I had to pick two categories to judge these shoes on, it would be comfort and appearance. So let's start with comfort. The heel cup and Boost midsole is exactly the same on both sneakers, so comfort-wise there is great. The main difference in comfort between these two shoes is really how the shoe fits. The fit of the Ultra Boost Laceless is definitely more snug and more form-fitting. The Uncaged is a little bit looser with the ability to tighten the shoe if you need to. Personally, I've got to give it to the Laceless. I was really surprised by how comfortable these shoes actually were. At first I thought the midfoot was a little constricting, but the more I wore it, the more comfortable it got. Not to say that the Uncaged isn't comfortable, because it really is, but there's something about this sock-like fit that I just really like. As for aesthetics and appearance of the shoe, this will probably vary from person to person, but for me, again, after a week, I was really surprised because you know what? I kind of prefer the look of the Laceless. Now, to be fair, there are a lot more colorways of the Uncaged, and so far what I've seen of the Laceless colorways, this is the only real one that I like. But when on feet, I think the Laceless just looks better. It's a cleaner silhouette in my opinion, and that's not just because it doesn't have laces. I think the overall shape of the shoe is just nicer. So overall, if I had to pick between the two shoes, I would go with the Ultra Boost Laceless. I think the name Ultra Boost Laceless sucks. It's kind of a bummer to say, and I think they could have called it something cooler, but I mean, hey, that's really my only gripe. Let me know what you guys think about these two shoes in the comment section down below and which shoe you like better. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to Seth Fowler if you want to see more content just like this, and follow me on all other forms of social media. The links will be in the description below.